Hello again, it's Lock Noob, and today we get to look at a little 3-pick lockpick set, the 3 Bones Deep Hooks set from Bare Bones Lockpicking. Yeah, I picked these up a while ago, and these are pretty cool. They're just an extra 3 picks which you can put towards any of your pick sets, whether they're from Bare Bones in Australia or anywhere else for that matter. But they do provide some pretty hefty deep hook profiles. So these are called the 3 Bones Deep Hooks. I was just reading the website, and these were a collaboration between Bare Bones Lockpicking and a talented maker called the Butcher's Block. Now you'll also see at the top here some tension tools. These are also from Bare Bones. I thought I'd use these in the video because it keeps the Bare Bones Lockpicking tools together. But these are the ferrule turners, and I think I've already done a review on these. But if I'm going to use some turners, I'm going to be using the same brand. You'll notice that these also come with some handles. I think these are 3D printed, but they've got a nice sort of diamond hatch pattern on there, and they're nice and grippy. You can buy these, I know, without the handles if you like the bare metal. And these ones, just so you know, are in 0.23 inches. So is it 0.023 inches? These are, so basically 23 thousandths of an inch. You can get these again, I believe, in 15 thousandths of an inch and 20 thousandths of an inch if that suits your picking style and needs as well. One of the things I really like about Bare Bones Lockpicking is I think they've got one of the best logos available. I just love that kind of like that cool skull logo. It really just appeals to me anyway. Anyway, what do we get? Well, they are very much on theme. Bare Bones Lockpicking. You've got, I think, the Collarbone, which is sort of like a very slightly flat-topped hook, and this is clearly a deep hook, but it's more on the medium to deep hook side of things. So they describe it as an extended reach medium hook. And then we've got the backbone, sort of medium steepness, thickest shank profile, just a nice sort of swooping medium to deep hook. And then we have a really nice deep hook, the Jawbone, the steepest here. And these, as I might have mentioned earlier, are an Australian brand. They're very popular in Australia, and to be fair to Bare Bones, they also, I think, offer some really, really good pricing. Now, based in Australia, I guess that how much value you get out of Bare Bones lockpicks depends on where you are in the world, because obviously shipping, taxes, import duties may affect you adversely, and so will exchange rates and all those kind of things too. But you just take it on the face value, these are actually pretty reasonable in terms of pricing. And as far as I know, Bare Bones Lockpicking uses a 301 high yield stainless steel. So yeah, there is that. But anyway, enough talking about these picks. I want to test them out. Let's do a few demos. And what better way to test the capabilities of these deep hooks than to pick some vintage Lockwood, made in Australia, rim cylinders. Now, Lockwood are an Australian brand. They're famous for having tapered key pins and drive pins depending on the model. And they can be really tricky picks with some pretty decent bittings. So I think for the deepest of these hooks, I might try an American style keyway, something with a more open keyway where I can use the full height of this hook to reach up into the guts of the keyway to pick the pins. But yeah, we'll pick a couple of Lockwoods first, then more open keyway, and see where we get to, and I'll be back in a minute for some conclusions. So first up, the Collarbone, the sort of shortest of the medium hooks. And we actually have a key for this little Lockwood rim cylinder, which is quite nice. I think it's a little 5-pinner. I'm going to try the 50 thousandths. Yeah, that works fine. And again, we've got a little paracentric keyway. It's going to try and get up here and see what we can pick. So anything that's binding, pin 3 for example, we're just going to gently lift. Nice click. Pin 2 there, nothing on 1. Go back in, around. Little clicks off pin 5 at the back, 4, 3, 2. Tiny click off pin 1 there. There we go. Back in again. And everything feels sort of like it's everything sort of feels like it's already in a gate. Oh yeah, there we go. We just got that open. Lovely. So here we are with the backbone pick, the medium of the three with its gem tip. We have a Lockwood rim cylinder, 5 pins and some horrible tapers in there. Just going to pop in top of the keyway turner. Going to put our hook in. It's got a bit of a paracentric keyway, so going to sort of wriggle the hook around like this and feel for what we're picking. So nothing on 5 there. 4 is binding heavily. Nothing on 3. 2's binding though. And 1, nice click. If we're not open, we just need to pulse that tension and see if we can go through and pick everything sort of through again. Because these tapered pins mean that some of the driver pins will be underset, some of the key pins might be overset, and it can be a bit of a fiddle, sort of getting to the point where you're happy with the pin states in the lock, and that you think you're ready to get that open. Again, it can just be a bit of a pain. You have to sort of pulse the tension, you have to tap the tops of these pins, like 4, give me a nice positive click then. 2 there as well, 1's binding, I think, nice click. But if we're not opening like this, then what we just need to do is keep going through with some light tension, just tap and rock some of these pins like this. So under sort of light tension, just see if we can press these pins up, just to make sure that we are getting everything in at shear, I guess. And if we're lucky, yeah, we get the open. There we go. See how it just sort of caught up? That's very, very typical of tapered pins. For the very deepest of hooks, the Jawbone, I've got a really nice American style keyway, so nothing paracentric here. This is just an Ace hardware lock. And I think we're going to go in with the 40 thousandths of an inch turner at the top of this one, like that. Not too far in, just enough. And I think at 0.23 we should be able to pick this from the bottom of the keyway, which would be really useful. So that's how many pin lock is this one? I think this is a 6 pin lock. So already had a click on 6, 5 and 4, and this is 2 here. There we go. Anything on 1? Don't want to pick the turning tool out by accident. Into a false set. Okay, so back to the back. Pin 6 now. Is that going to, yeah, counter rotation. Gentle counter rotation. And we've got that one. This is pin 5 now. Counter rotation, counter rotation. Again, we're just gently clicking that one. That's good. Pin 4 now. Here, look at that counter rotation. Pin 3. So back, we must have dropped somewhere at the back, I think. Yeah, pin 5 here. And we've got the open. Look at that. Lovely. Got it. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed those quick demos. I got lucky with some of those Lockwoods. They can be a real pain in the butt. But yeah, these picks actually did really, really well. And I was able to utilize the full height of these picks in those keyways, despite them being paracentric, well, the Lockwoods at least. So I enjoyed using all of these. I think it's time to do some conclusions. So yeah, these are 301 high yield stainless steel 23 thousandths of an inch lock picks with optional handles. I don't know what color you'll get. These ones came in black, but I think there are possibly a range of colors that they might use, so your mileage may vary. I'm very happy with these. Let's go for good things. So the profiles themselves, they're very nice. They're a bit similar in height if you did stack them together, but they are different enough to make a difference in different keyways. So if I stack them like that, you might see that there is a definite increase in sort of pick height as we go up. Also, you have a couple of gem style hooks here, which I really appreciate. Them quite thin tipped, but still very good. The shanks are maybe not as thin as I'd like. You can see how they've been cut down here, which is good. So they are slimmer than they could have been, but maybe just a tiny bit, a few tenths of a millimetre off to make these shanks a bit thinner would be good. However, they were also very, very strong. I felt that I was getting some excellent feedback. So what you may gain in a tiny little bit of extra shank thickness, you do what you lose in gain in shank thickness, you also gain in the feedback. Yeah, that makes sense. So if you don't mind that trade-off, then I think that's really good. So nice profiles, strong picks, slim shanks, but maybe could be a tad slimmer. I really like these optional handles. I think they're 3D printed, but they work really well. They're nice and grippy, they're very comfortable, nice thickness, and I definitely recommend paying the little bit extra. It's only a few extra dollars to get the handles if you're going to get this set. These ferrule turners aren't part of the review, but they work really well. They're very good, and check out some of my other bare bones lockpicks reviews to see what I think of those. In terms of things that I don't like so much or I would change, I would say that with bare bones lockpicks, they don't do an awful lot as far as finishing. You can see these little rough edges on the tops here and a little bit on the bottom. Now that's easily fixed with a little bit of wet and dry sandpaper. You probably need something around 600 to 800 grits. Just rub on the top. Just make sure you take off some of these sharper edges. Is it necessary? No. I used these straight out of the pack, so to speak. You saw that they were very usable in the locks, but they might be a little rougher inside the lock, a little rougher inside the keyway, catch on some of the warding, and I think a little bit of extra polishing wouldn't go amiss. Other than that, these and maybe depending on your needs, a little thinner shank profile would be, just right for my tastes. But that being said, they're really very good picks out of the pack, especially with these handles on. What are these going to cost you? Now, I'm just going to give you the prices in UK pounds and the rough equivalency in US dollars. And again, not including shipping or postage or customs fees or taxes, local taxes, I don't know, whatever else you might want to pay. And obviously the prices are given at today's exchange rates, which will, of course, change over time. So with the handles in 23 thousandths of an inch thickness, these are £14.75, which I think is very reasonable, which is roughly about 20 American dollars, US dollars. So I think if you're looking for a nice, robust, very, very reasonably priced pick set of deep hooks with some nice handles, I don't think you can go too far wrong with these. Yes, you might have to do a little finishing to take off some of those rougher edges, but yeah, I mean, it's not bad, is it? Anyway, I'd love to know what you think. Let me know in the comments down below. I do read them all and reply to as many as I can. If you haven't subscribed, now's a great time to do so for more content like this. You can hit that like and the notification bell because it all really helps me out, so I really appreciate it. Otherwise, stay safe, happy picking, and I'll see you all next time.